Hello. I've been getting a lot of requests about my journals and my other hobbies. So I thought I would share you my latest make. Beginning of June, Tracy Fox Creation came out with a digital kit for the Curious Case of Crafty Hall. And she did this video with the story to it. I'll link it down below. It is fantastic. You have to watch the video. It tells a story of this Craftley Hall and the ghosts and goblins and the mystery of it. I don't want to ruin it, so you got to go over and check it out yourself. Well, she made it digital actually too, and normally I don't go for this grisly Halloween type of journals. I'm more of a botanical, flowery type of a person, but something about it inspired me. So I decided I was going to jump on the bandwagon and join in on the Creep on June 24. So this is my take. I'll also link Tracy's other videos and the calendar, because there was a video from collaborators, one for every month, that helped inspire you. It's really fascinating. You got to go check it out. Most made tags and things and ephemera with the kit. That wasn't my thing. I decided to do like this lapbook version. So this is my take on the Creep on June 24, the Curious Case of Craftley Hall. All digitals in this lapbook are from Tracy's kits and a few of my own die cuts. So as you see, this is my cover, and it opens up. It's magnetized, the front and the back. I kept it simple, and it opens up so. Originally, I thought I would put journal pages here for writing, but this got so full there was no room. So we will start with the story of Craftley Hall. Well, actually, I should go to the very beginning of the story of Craftley Hall. One of the videos Tracy had was making a folder from the investigators, Mr. Bundle and his two assistants. So I made these ID cards to represent them. These are the three assistants. I gave them large ID cards because they've been traveling everywhere. And then here is their little case file. Most people made a large A4. Since I wanted to keep this small, when I printed it, I sized it down to like an A6, I believe. So here's my little file folder of the case. I'm not going to read and tell the whole story. That you have to go check out Tracy's video, because otherwise this will be a very long video here. So it has to do with this place, the Craftley Hall. This is here a map of their location. This is all in there. And Tracy also gave in her group and on her website the actual story in written form that you could print out. I printed it out, and this is the report and the story of case Craftley Hall. So that's my little folio report from the investigators. And they come again later into the story, but that's where it started with them. Okay, so let's go to the beginning of the story. I did not follow the 30 days exactly. There was too many tags and things, but I tried to keep to the basic layout. So we have here, these are some pictures of the people that came before in Craftley Hall. And this story starts with, let me think. There was the plague. And of course, everyone died. there was a church built on the plot. Yeah, normally I'm not into these skeletons and stuff, but somehow I had to add some. And then the story began. Oops, this is backwards. So you see here, in the early 1863, the Craftley Hall began to be built by a doctor and his wife, who later moved in. And this is their story. This is where it started from. But then, a year later, the doctor died. He was killed in one of the buildings. So what happened, they sold, well, 100 years later, another family bought Craftley Hall. And this is the family of Rose and Jeffrey Binder. They moved in 1920. They bought the house. This is their deed, the keys to their house, their little certificate of their property. As you can see, I had a lot of fun. A lot of these digital, some were also free digitals by Tracy. You have to go check it out. I don't want to ruin the whole story. So Jeffrey and his wife moved in, and she started to decorate the house. But unknown to her that there were still ghosts hidden in between the walls and in different spots. But she tried to make it home. Even a little ghost in her closet. Oops, I better move over. So she's setting up home. And, wait, have to flip over here. The house needed a lot of renovations because it was neglected for all those years. But then strange things started to happen. And Rose started to see strange people. She saw a boy peeking through the glass windows. And around midnight, she'd hear music and sounds coming from a study. And she also saw a small girl looking over the garden wall. In one of the rooms was an old bureau that stood alone, filled with all kinds of antiquities. Well, Rose was feeling unsure, so she called her cousin Alice to come and stay in the house with her. So Alice arrived to give Rose support. But Alice kept still hearing things, scratching sounds coming from the basement. Something was not right at Craftley Hall. Strange notes and sounds were left everywhere. Where they were moving the wallpaper, there was signs and notes left behind. In the center of the room was a pile of dinner dishes that weren't there the day before. Alice sees children all over in the house that aren't there. Then she heard about the committee of investigators and the researcher, Mr. Brundle. And so she wrote him a letter explaining what's going on with all the sounds and strange things happening. So Mr. Brundle arrived immediately. He got out his tools and he set up his camera to photograph. But little did he know they were being watched. At first he thought it was just sounds and children playing jokes on them. But then things started falling. Notebooks that he had placed on the side table were falling, found on the floor. And then they all gathered together to do a kind of, I guess, a seance. But someone was watching, always watching. With lit candles, they would flicker and there'd be sounds. Even in the bathroom, he saw In the mirror, someone had written you, but when he looked a second time, it was gone. Eventually, they did manage to get rid of all the ghosts, or at least they thought, and the case was closed. And the story ended for now, and a new church and a plaque was erected for those that are gone. But little did they know they were always being watched. And I'm sure they may think the case of Craftley Hall is solved and closed, but I think there's still some creepiness going on. So that was my take on Craftley Hall. I hope you enjoyed it. Please go check out all the collaborators. A lot of this was inspired by them. I would love to give them all credit, but since this was a month-long project, I can't remember which was which. But when you watch them, you'll be inspired. So there were some fantastic makes and cards. This was a fun project, but I have to admit, 30 days was a long time, and I'm glad it's over, and now I'm going to be going off to vacation. So hope you enjoyed this. Please give this a thumbs up or a like, or leave a comment or something so that I know someone's watching this, so I know if it's worth even posting my makes on YouTube. Until next time, tschüss.